But so and I don't really smoke at all. And I was in the dressing room, and they're just like smoke offs and stuff.
I love these connections
No,
that you'd
but they're
never
like,
imagine.
They're like
Oh,
really,
Dame Judi Dench and Snoop Dogg.
they're really cool. But so and I don't really smoke at all. And I was in the dressing room, and they're just.
Well, growing up, my grandmother told me something very interesting. Now, she said the type of friends you take today either have good positive impact on your life or an impinging detriment in your life. Well, that is the same situation Ed Sheeran apparently has found himself. And of course, looks like things really isn't going so well for him. And of course, he's coming out to expose all the bad friends who, unfortunately, have had an impinging effect in his life. The likes of Snoop Dogg and Burna Boy have been accused by Ed Sheeran for nearly or almost, luring him into, of course, hard drugs like smoking, which, of course, at a point nearly, damaged his lungs. While he's talking about it, you may want to stick and stay, listen exactly to what Ed Sheeran has been speaking about. This is Editor of Pinax News. For more news, please do visit pinaxnews.com. Your thought and comment also will be appreciated beneath the comment section. So join today's episode. Let's get interactive over there. Now, in a podcast, interview that apparently, I should say, Ed Sheeran did granted some few, days back. He apparently was being asked about his smoking habit, and this time, he exposed, Snoop Dogg. Well, it's no, news at all that Snoop Dogg is known for puffing the hard cigarette, and of course, even on stage, Snoop Dogg is known for that. The likes of Burna Boy also has been accused for smoking very hard drugs, marijuana, weed, and other hard drugs and all of that. But all these people are friends to Ed Sheeran. Now, in an interesting podcast, interaction that he apparently did granted. Now, let's do pay attention to exactly what Ed Sheeran has been saying. It was a time he almost, did lost his lungs and all of that. Well, I don't care about that. Well, he wanted it himself. He just wanted to have a bite or a taste of how it feels to puff cigarette, right? And I guess he got so much into it. So let's listen to Ed Sheeran, who apparently almost lost his life for just indulging himself, with cigarettes.
I guess he plays in England, but it's never like when I have a night off or whatever. So we went. I remember him meeting my mother-in-law and being like, "What's up, Queen?" And I was like,
Yes!
"That's the best." So I went with I've sort of got. Was with my wife and my mother-in-law, and Snoop Dogg was playing,
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
like, we gotta go. When that, I guess he plays in England, but it's never like when I have a night off or whatever. So we went. I remember him meeting my mother-in-law and being like, "What's up, Queen?" And I was like,
Yes!
"That's the best." So I went with I've sort of got quite close friends with Russell Crowe over the years, and he's really close with Snoop Dogg. They have sort of like smoke offs and stuff.
I love these connections
No,
that you'd
but they're
never
like,
imagine.
They're like
Oh,
really,
Dame Judi Dench and Snoop Dogg.
they're really cool. But so and I don't really smoke. And I don't. But so and I don't really smoke at all. And I was in the dressing room, and they're just, blunt for blunt for blunt for blunt. And I'm like, I guess at some point during the night, I have to, just to be like, I smoke with Snoop Dogg. And so I kind of was having this conversation with him, and I was like, this is good, like a good memory. Like, I have a conversation, I'm drinking my wine and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, do you want some? And I was like, okay, now's the time. I'm like, we had a good amount of conversation. So I have a bit, and I'm like, feel too bad. Like, this is good. And then I have a bit more. Then I have a bit more. Then I have a bit more. Oh my God. I just remember looking at him being like, I can't see right now. I've got to
I know I have eyes.
Snoop Dogg apparently is the godfather, of smoking. And honestly, anywhere you see Snoop Dogg, you could see that he's always having a puff of cigarette, with him. Now, I didn't really believe so much of the Burna Boy, instance. Well, at the point, I really was doubting because, I don't know if I should say I was doubting or I should say I suspected it anyway because, of course, Burna Boy also is always seen smoking. And after the friendship or the big song that Ed Sheeran apparently did have with Burna Boy, I really also had an instinct telling me that these two really were going to have something going on after their music. And of course, he's come out to expose Burna Boy, also saying that Burna Boy also has been influencing him when it comes to smoking. Now I'm asking myself, how did these two force him like? Did these two just drag him and say, okay, well, you have to take it at all costs unknowingly, or they suggested that this is going to make him feel cool, and so he should take it, and he generally, just went in for this because this time I'm really, really shocked with what Ed Sheeran is talking about. We all do know that certain things we do take into or consume has a detriment, some interesting detriment to our health, especially when you're not so used to it. For me, for instance, I just cannot, entertain certain smells in my nostrils. Like I literally would die. Like smoke, drink, alcohol, whatever that is very hard or intense. I just cannot stand it. So I'm just thinking what really Ed Sheeran, was thinking about when he apparently did find himself in this situation. Of course, showing respect or paying respect to, the elderly, especially in the industry, like Snoop Dogg is, very appreciable, I should say, very commendable also. But for the extent of allowing yourself, to be used and not in a positive way, of maybe, let's say, again, an impact of the person's career or at least tapping into the person's blessings or career, but rather towing the line of the the bad side of these people is what really is getting me worked up over here. And of course, listening to him even makes it worse because I'm listening to him and I'm like, well, so now has he quit? Is he still in it, or is he in the process of getting himself off from this mess that Snoop Dogg and Burna Boy apparently have dragged him into? Well, it's getting very interesting because Ed Sheeran, I should say, health issue has not really been so much of a good news to us. We all do know what really he has been battling with some time back, and of course, even coming out to express or expose such interesting revelations about these two even makes it worse for me. And I think that all people out there should really not be pressured to do anything if they're not willing to do, especially if it's going to have an impinging detriment to your life. So, like you did listen to Ed Sheeran over there, he says that Snoop Dogg, for now, I'm just calling him as the godfather of smoke. He's been in the industry for a very long time, and smoking has always been his hallmark and, of course, trademark. Well, sorry for Ed Sheeran. Well, let us know what you think about this, and let us also know what your encounter with a friend, about this has been. For more news, do visit binaxnews.com. Thanks for watching.